I was trying to think of like a friendly way to open the podcast today, and I thought that a nice thing to do, friendly, good vibes thing to do, would be to give each other a compliment. So
Okay.
I've already prepared mine, and I'll let you think about yours. I'm sure you're already thinking of
Yeah, I've
many,
got a few.
many great things. We got a few, okay. But as a repressed heterosexual man, here is the best compliment I could come up with. Uh, I'm not gay, but if I was, they would be related to you,
Okay.
but they would have a vagina.
Okay.
And
Because
yeah, when was your birthday?
when was my birthday?
Yeah,
February.
February. Okay. Well, if I didn't say it then, cakes and candles, brother. That's like the most repressed way to say happy birthday.
I've never heard that
Candles,
before.
bro.
Cakes and candles, brother. I've never heard that before. It's so British. It's terrible. So you can't even say the words happy.
I know.
That's how much of a manly man you are. Say cakes and
Cakes and candles.
I'm not going to get you a cake, but I hope that you do get some for yourself. Cakes and candles, brother. No emojis, no capitals in the message.
Full stop.
A full stop at the very end, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I want to say it phrased in that way because I didn't want to say that like I find you attractive because that'd be weird. But I was like, if I did find a man attractive, they would be related to you, but also they would have a vagina because then they wouldn't be totally a man.
I like that. Thank you, bro.
Yeah,
And
I guess the thing it was ever said to you.
I would like people, if they're actually watching the recording of this, to like I want to question if they think we look alike, because if you remember ages ago people used to think we were brothers, which I find a bit bizarre because I don't think we look alike at all.
Cool.
Well, I can see how people would think we're related just from the looks of us. We're similar skin tones and similar hair.
Yeah, same skin tone.
Yeah, and hair color and
Yeah,
stuff.
we did have similar hair, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing I always found confusing was that we don't have the same accent.
Yeah, it's kind of a giveaway.
Yeah, like you could be related, but like brothers, and one's English, the other's Irish. Like that's mental. Yeah, that was the biggest one. Yeah, we were talking to a customer in this place. Me and Sebastian used to work together, and the guy just pauses in the middle of our transaction and goes, "Oh, you guys brothers?" Which I especially remember because I remember that British accent. So the guy was British
Yeah.
and was asking,
But how could you not tell?
it's so mental. Because also, if we're brothers, we're clearly very similar age. So, like, what? I was born, and then you were born 2 years later, and what, like, one.
Kept your accent at 2 years old, like
Yeah, or like our parents separated, and like one took you to England and one kept me in Ireland. Like, this doesn't make any logical sense. But yeah, anyhow, guys, welcome to Dillon and Sebastian Have a Simpsons podcast. The podcast myself and Sebastian do to hopefully someday make it in Capital City. I think that's the dream. And today we are covering Desperately Seeking Lisa, the third episode of the 36th season. So, shall we jump in?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So we open up on Springfield train station with a great sign just saying the future of American travel is trains. And the quote is by your weird uncle. And we see there's a bit of friction happening between Marge and Lisa, and Bart tells Patty and Selma that they have been fighting worse than Don Draper and Pete Campbell, which is obviously a reference to Mad Men. And then the aunts just look at him confused, and he goes, "What? Krusty's in reruns?" Which I just love that his favorite kid show is in reruns, so he's watching Mad Men. Then Homer lets it slip that Marge suggested sending Lisa to Capital City with her sisters for the weekend. Like, wanted a break from her. And then the train conductor tells everyone to wrap up their arguments and give a quiet, poignant goodbye. And Marge gives Lisa like this apple juice that she won't take because it's harmful to fossil fuels. Or she does take it, but she takes it begrudgingly. And Homer just goes, "Oh, I'm so glad I don't have a daughter," whilst holding Maggie and looking at Maggie, which I thought was great. Um, a huge criticism that people have of like the later seasons is that Homer's like too stupid, which I personally don't give a crap about. But that would definitely be
I don't.
no, not at all. But that would definitely be a solid example of that. Is that he's he's watching his own daughter walk away from his wife and holding his baby daughter and saying, "I'm so glad I don't have a daughter."
Because it's
So dumb.
like it gets to a point where it's like too stupid.
Yeah, it's too stupid. I get the criticism, but I don't care, and it's
Mm.
funny.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I'm such a fan of that thing that Mike Reese, one of the writers on the show, said. Where like when a TV show goes on for a very long time, it either gets boring or it gets weird. And weird is the way I think you should go. And The Simpsons definitely got weird. And yeah, like that's an example of them getting weird. Is that they made Homer too stupid. But it was either do that or stay the same way, and that just would have been dull. You know?
Agreed.
Yeah, like they've experimented with so many different sides of his personality, which I think is fun. Like they've had episodes where he's a complete dickhead, they've had episodes where he's stupid, episodes where he's a
Exactly.
genius, and that's the fun
They
of
can switch it up.
yeah, yeah, the broadness of this character. Yeah, so we then cut to Lisa, Patty, and Selma going to the capital city. We see that they're in the touristy part of the city. And we see all these signs. You had to like pause it to see it, but there were so many. The ones that I liked the most was the Blocko store, party of the Lego store, Forever 41. And the best one, you had to really be looking the cash. It said, "Stop the Planet of the Apes, the revival of the year." Obviously, a revival of Troy McClure's show from a Fishbowl
Yeah,
Selma.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you catch that?
I think I did at the time. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Just a great subtle little reference there. And we see that they take Lisa to the Laramie Cigarette Smokehouse and Grill, which was actually my favorite part of the whole episode. It was just like creative and stupid and funny. I really enjoyed it. It was a cigarette themed restaurant, and all the waiters are dressed as cigarettes, and just all the puns of the food that the girls order is just so stupid and funny.
Bring us the tuna tartare with extra tar, cigs in a blanket, Philly wee steak, baked Suzette, and for dessert, the flemme brulee.
This is what people think restaurants used to be like.
Yeah, yeah, where you could like smoke indoors.
Yeah. Bro, take me back, honestly. Do you remember me and you used to do that?
Oh, damn.
Those are the
Take me
days.
back when we met back in 2021 after COVID. We were going into restaurants and smoking
Oh.
It's
for
like a
days.
cigar after our meal as well, and they'd light it up for us. Oh, it's
Yeah,
perfect.
man. At a TGI Fridays,
Yeah.
we were both broke, so we just get chicken tenders and then we'd
Mackey's.
smoke like chimneys afterwards.
Yeah.
Mackey's for dessert. We get a McFlurry and smoke there as well. Those were good times, man. It was mainly based around smoking. Yeah, they run into Patty's friend Julian. Do you know who voiced Julian?
No.
Richard E. Grant.
Really?
Yeah, you know Richard E. Grant?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Richard E.
Just
Grant.
surprised me. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, thought he did a fantastic job. Just great voice. I mean, I love him in everything. He's a fantastic actor. But Lisa spots his Sylvia Plath book, and he goes, "Oh yes, the world's loss was that oven's gain," which is a brilliant dark joke. You know what that, don't you? She committed suicide by putting her head in an oven.
Yeah.
Yes, great dark joke there. She also meets Katya, a photographer. Katya was voiced by Molly Shannon, who used to be on Saturday Night Live, and she's on Only Murders in the Building now. I also think she's fantastic. So two great guest stars in this episode.
Wow.
Yeah, really, really nicely done. And also Lars, her abstract painter boyfriend, who never speaks. And I thought that was a fun little third character there, that he never says a word. He just emotes through paintings, and he does like this abstract painting on the spot, and Lisa's able to gather from the art that he's searching for love in a connectionless world and an extra large cookie, and Katya just gives him an extra large cookie. We then cut to Patty and Selma throwing up in the bathroom, and they're like, I knew there was something off about that mental swordfish. One thing I find so interesting is that Julie Kavner, her voice is Marge and Patty and Selma. She's clearly struggling with Marge's voice a little bit, like her throat clearly strains, but she still voices Patty and Selma perfectly.
If anything, it gets better.
It's better. It's
Yeah.
so strange. Yeah,
And I
maybe.
haven't seen them two in a long time.
No, we don't really see them as often. No, I would say we see them the right amount, though.
Probably, yeah.
I do like them, but they're
They
not
serve a
like.
purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, they serve a
Yeah.
purpose. I do like them. I don't want them gone from the show, but I definitely don't want them in like. I don't want to see them as often as I see Mo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're those kind of characters. They're antagonists. But yeah, then they say that they need to sleep or die, and they'll take either or. They pass out, and Lisa sees a text on Patty's phone from Julian saying, "We're outside your appalling hotel," and she leaves without telling her aunts. She goes like an artist party, and she immediately feels at home. She sees herself in like all of the artists, like literally sees their faces turn into her face. And we see that Lars has made another painting, and Katya is floored by it. She says that she wished she could marry someone else so that she could cheat on her husband with him. Which sounds like a compliment, but she's saying that to her husband. She was definitely my favorite, like, new character in the episode. I thought she had so many great quotes.
Yeah, great.
So good, yeah. And Molly Shannon voices her perfectly. Lisa then helps them take their work to a gallery. And she asks the lead of the Inhumane Capotiers for help. Like a band where they're all dressed and sound just like Truman Capote. But he refuses to help because liars are writers who tell the truth, which makes no sense to her request. And then Katya goes, "Oh, don't mind him. He's the worst. We used to be a throuple. He was incredible. I wish he was dead." We then cut them at the art gallery. Lisa's carrying a Kool-Aid man that has a Jesus on the inside of it, and Julie is impressed that he managed to get her there, to get the Kool-Aid man there without spilling a single drop, and invites her to see an avant-garde play at 1 a.m. On their way to the play, they run into Superintendent Chalmers, who we're always happy to see. I just love him so much. We see that he's with Lunch Lady Doris, who's in the hotel room up above, and she calls out for him, being like, "Get up here, we got a long evening of doinking ahead of us." And he's trying to like make excuses to Lisa, being like, "Oh, we're pushing on a staff excursion," and she's like, "Oh yeah, of course." And like, "Oh, we're continuing education." Like, no need to explain, it all makes perfect sense. She obviously knows what he's up to. One thing I really like about the later seasons, like I actually would argue they've done better than the earlier seasons, is building on Superintendent Chalmers as a character. Because I feel like I love him in the early seasons, but like, all he does is his purpose is that Principal Skinner finds him terrifying.
He was a one-note character.
Yeah, and like a fun one-note character, but like they managed to do what he's about in those early seasons. Like, Skinner is still terrified of him, but there's so much more depth to him now.
Agreed.
He's genuinely one of my favorites, especially in these later seasons. I think he's great. Yeah, he's just fun and unique. He's so his own character. Like you can't compare him to anybody else in Springfield.
No, he definitely is unique, and he's got like similarities with Skinner as well. They're both like insecure.
No, definitely, yeah. He has like more in common with Skinner than he would like to admit, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. But yeah, Julian interrupts them, being like, "Hey, we're running late. Stop talking to that balding stallion." And he's so flattered. And he's like, "Oh, I wouldn't say stallion, but yes." We got them watching a play about a man getting transformed into a cockroach. And he's living in a one-bedroom apartment with his unfeeling father. And having done a theater degree and like having seen lots of amateur plays while I was doing that degree, like people in my year or like further ahead in the degree were putting on, I saw so much shit like this where it's like they were clearly trying to make a point but they didn't really know what the point was. That's clearly what this was. Like I think avant-garde is almost an excuse when your play has no actual substance.
I know.
It's avant-garde. It's supposed to not make sense.
Exactly. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
It's always what it is. But Lisa gets so invested in it that she starts shouting at the father, telling him to leave his son alone. And this guy, Tracy Letts, surreal. Well, he's been in movies and TV shows, but he's mainly a Broadway actor in New York. He comes out and he voices himself in this episode as well.
"Who just interrupted my play? How dare you desecrate the hallowed boards of this converted rooster fighting arena?"
Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright Tracy Letts? You wrote this?
And I play the enormous shoe that steps on the cockroach in Act 3. It's a loafer with a backstory. Not that they'll ever get to see it now.
I'm sorry,
Interrupted? Young lady, this play has run for over a year, and you're the very first person to interfere and save the cockroach, proving you're one of the most sensitive and artistically attuned people I've ever met.
So he takes her to this like wealthy lady who gives out scholarships and endorse artists. Artists who are children from tragic cultural wastelands, and she starts her on a very extensive interview process, and she just goes, she's clearly like mental in the head, this woman, just gives away money willy-nilly, but like, yeah, we had to start a very extensive interview process. How are you, dear? She's like, I'm okay. The interview has concluded. The scholarship is yours. She gets the $84,000 as a check. We cut to her going to bed in Julian's apartment, which is dodgy, but there's a lot of dodgy shit in this episode. Let's not even question it. In his apartment, she spots a photo of all that entire artist gang with Martin Prince, and she's confused, like, what the hell was going on there. And Julian reveals that no one she met tonight was actually a part of the school. And they've been giving out this award basically to random naive children every year, and they get that woman to sign a check, and they use that check to put on their own projects and fund their own lives. Basically, it's a scam they run. And Lisa threatens to go to the police, but Julian says that he's used footage of her helping move the paintings and the artwork to the gallery to make it look like she robbed the artwork, and he says the footage has already gone out to the entire art district of Capital City. And the Truman Capote guy comes in and is like, the only thing an artist hates more than an art thief is themselves. And yeah, I mean, obviously we'll get into it more at the end, but I thought this plot twist made absolutely no sense.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I did.
It made no fucking sense. It's just, it would have been interesting had they like led into it in a way where, like, if you watch it a second time, I always watch this episode twice. I watch it once all the way through just to watch it properly as a viewer, and then I watch it like making notes. So when I'm watching it the second time, knowing that twist is coming, I'm like, nothing builds to this twist. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, how did they know that she was going to say something in the middle of the play that would make Tracy Letts go, oh, this lady's great, let's give her a scholarship? Like, none of it leads in. And they also just randomly ran into Patty and Selma, so it's not like they even knew that Lisa was coming to Capital City. Like, none of it makes any sense.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you could have drafted that in a way that made it all kind of come together, but it just doesn't. Do you know the way any plot twist works? It's like, did you ever watch Saltburn a second time?
Only once.
You only seen it once. Spoiler alert to anyone who hasn't seen Saltburn, but it's revealed at the end that Barry Keoghan's character is like, he manipulated and planned everything that led to him like spending all the time in this mansion with this wealthy family. But when you watch it a second, I've seen it twice, when you watch it a second time knowing that he does that, it all lines up perfectly. You know? But not the case with this episode at all. The twist makes absolutely no sense. But anyhow, we'll get into it more later. We see that the gallery is now filled with art about Lisa being an art thief, and she's like, wow, they really got this show together fast. And she starts running away from the artist. Thought the animation was done really well here. Throughout the whole episode, the animation was really fabulous. Just seeing a whole different location and everything, they did it super well. She flees from the angry artists, and she calls her parents, and we cut to the family at home, and they're watching a documentary about the ringtone wars. And so that horrible iPhone ringtone is playing in the documentary while Lisa's calling him, so they don't hear it because of the documentary. I thought that was really funny. Yeah. A clever way to make them like not hear the call. And we find out that the family has spent 12 hours watching a documentary about the history of ringtones. She then runs into Chalmers again.
Superintendent Chalmers? Now you're here?
No, look, in the interest of fumfering,
Gary, doinking!
Look, Lisa, sometimes when grown-ups get bored, they start playing pickleball, or they learn to make sourdough bread, or they book 2 different romantic getaways with 2 different women who don't know about each other. It's a very common thing.
Lisa then hides out with Chalmers and Hoover. When lunch lady Doris breaks in, And Chalmers jumps out the window. This is all such a good sequence. He jumps out the window, grabs an e-bike, and then falls into the river. Just so well done. Lee starts running away from the artist again, but she's too worn out to keep fleeing the artist. But then she remembers the apple juice that Marge got her earlier, which is sweet, and she drinks that, and we cut to Marge at home in bed, and she wakes up, and she's like, oh, she drank the juice! And Homer looks at her like, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh, a mother knows. Lisa then tells the artist that their work is derivative, and they're all old, and she runs away again. And she finds a parade float of Joan Didion, who's like a intellectual author type, like some poet, someone who Lisa would love. She uses this parade float to float back to Springfield, and she tears up the check, and Katya helps her go. And Tracy Letts is like, what the hell are you doing? If there was a gun in the first act, I'd shoot you right now. But Katya tells Lisa to forget about to never forget about the essence of being an artist, which is having rich parents. You can still resent them, just remember to take their money. And she's floating away on the float. Joan Didion starts talking to her and starts telling her about when she lost passion for the squalor of the city, and she's saying all these really poetic things. And Lisa's like, how am I talking to you right now? And she goes, you haven't slept in 24 hours. She's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then she almost too conveniently lands in Springfield Elementary as school starts, and she right in time to start school. And she sees Martin, and they're both wearing like the same, like, you know, those black French artist hats, and they both like, you know, bow to each other with the hats, indicate that they both know what happened. Which I thought was nice. And then she passes Chalmers, and he salutes Lisa, and Hoover and Lingerie Doors walk right past him, not talking to him naturally. And yeah, that concludes the episode. A lot I liked about it. A lot of messy stuff, but
Yeah, a few things. Overall, I did really like it though.
It was enjoyable. Yeah, really enjoyable.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, like, a good example of a modern episode in the fact that the things that are really good about it, but also the things that people don't like modern Simpsons for.
Yeah.
But it had really clever satire.
Definitely.
Kind of like some surreal possibilities. It was quite like a bold story, quite imaginative. And it had really good like visuals as well. And I loved like Lisa's emotional journey as well.
Pretty nice.
But yeah, like the pacing was a bit uneven. And to be fair, even though I like Lisa's emotional journey, it seems to be like a very familiar trope that we get with Lisa stories, which is, oh, she finds her people, you know.
She finds her people, and then
doesn't-
like sees flaws in these people, and remembers why she loves her family in Springfield so much.
Yeah.
It's an arc we've seen before, and we've seen
very
done
many times.
We've seen done better before.
And again, the twist, ending, everything, it all felt a bit too abrupt.
Too abrupt, too convenient. It wasn't like laid out properly for it to be an interesting reveal. Yeah.
But solid overall. Like, I'd give it a 7.5.
7.5?
I really liked it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Like, I liked it too. There was a lot to like about the episode.
Recently, man, like I'm rating episodes higher than you. When does this happen?
I know, yeah. This is the second week in a row. It's mental. I kind of do feel similarly about this episode as I did with the last episode, the Yellow Lotus. I mean, this episode was better. But just similarly that, like, I felt like it could have been better. Its concept was more interesting than what it delivers, you know? So that kind of thing is what would usually result in me giving it something like a 7 out of 10. It's like, I thought it was good and it had a lot of potential, but it didn't always deliver on that potential. You know, like, and how unique it was. I was realizing now as well, we've had 2 episodes in a row now where, like, we barely see Springfield. Well, the Yellow Lotus is not in Springfield at all, and this episode's only in Springfield briefly.
I kind of miss it.
I'm kind of missing it too. Yeah, I'm just realizing now because, you know, an episode not set in Springfield is always going to have a different feel to it. We've now had 2 episodes in a row that have a very different feel to it. They're always like different genres too, like genres that the Simpsons doesn't usually go into. Like, Yellow Lotus was like a kind of action adventure, whereas this one was like sort of like a family film adventure. Like it was like Home Alone 2. You know, it had like that kind of a vibe to it. Yeah. But yeah, definitely lots of to like about the episode. I thought the guest stars were all brilliant. Great characters and played their characters very well. But I feel like maybe all those characters could have had more scope to them. Like, there's nothing to their performances the way they delivered it. But there's just a little bit more development that could have been done to make those characters more interesting. Even Kathy at the end when she helps Lisa escape, there wasn't enough of a relationship between them for that to make sense. You know what I mean? Just like little things like that throughout. I just thought the plot points never felt quite even. Like the twist coming out of nowhere, and also the whole thing set up at the beginning with her and Marge hating each other, that doesn't get resolved. We don't even hear from Marge again. You know what I mean?
I think there were so many holes I just forgot.
Yeah, all these little things that pop up, exactly. But yeah, it's like, why do you set that up if it never goes anywhere? Like, I don't think her drinking the juice Marge got her is enough of a resolution of that conflict. You know, they don't even see each other again. It's a weird one. But yeah, other positive stuff. I thought the animation was stunning. I thought it was cool to get a solo Lisa episode. We hadn't had one in a long time.
That was nice.
Yeah, despite its blemishes, it's still nice to get one of those episodes that these episodes are always a bit more as you said, satire, commentaries and stuff like that. It's a little less gag heavy, like a Homer one would be, but it's clever jokes and making references.
More satire.
Yeah, totally. Making references to Joan Didion and Truman Capote and stuff, very intellectual stuff. And I also just mentioned I love Chalmers' involvement. I thought he definitely heightened the episode. Even if he was literally just there for gags,
his bits were the best bits.
Oh, completely agree, 100%. I thought it was really good, but could have been great. You know what I mean? Just if they cleaned up those plot points a bit better, this could have been an 8, whereas I'm giving it a 7. You know, but yeah,
that is fair.
Yeah, still very, very enjoyable. But just something I'm literally only just realizing now, which is I guess another critique, is it's weird that she's in this art world in the whole episode doesn't once mention her saxophone or play the saxophone.
Good point. It's kind of bizarre, isn't it? I mean, we haven't really seen Lisa and her saxophone apart from the odd time we get the intro for ages.
Well, yeah, of course. There was that Biddingham's Murphy episode in season 32, I think, where she meets his son.
Which was a long time ago now.
It was a long time ago, yeah, totally. I don't think it's came in at all, interestingly. But it's just weird to have an episode all about her love for art, but they don't mention the saxophone once.
Yeah.
Very strange. But anyhow, yeah. A lot to critique it. The critiques are always going to be louder, but we've given it a 7.5 and a 7. There is more to like about it. But yeah, just it definitely would have felt remiss not to mention those. But yeah, cool. Let's jump over to the news then. Unfortunately not too much news this week. I was kind of scratching at straws, to be honest. The new season hasn't started up yet, so there's not really, I know, there's not really a whole load happening. And the only thing I can really find is that Disney, I know, yeah, you should get worried. This is really scratching at straws. The only thing I can really find was that Disney Plus added a new playlist of all the Springfield Elementary episodes. But I thought it was cool is that it's the biggest playlist they've made yet. It's 106 episodes.
Sorry.
Yeah, the gulping's getting to be a lot. I hope that's ASMR for somebody. But yeah, it's 106 episodes, which made me think The Simpsons has so many episodes. You could literally just watch the Springfield Elementary episodes, and you could be convinced that the whole show is about these kids in a school. And
that's so mad.
Yeah, and that the family are just side characters. as in the parents.
These ideas of forming these episodes into certain playlists, what the themes are, Springfield Elementary episodes, episodes set at Evergreen Terrace.
It's quite a good idea.
Yeah, it seems to be what they're doing. They're slowly building these playlists. They have sports themed episodes, stress horrors, of course. Oh, there's another one I saw. Just like Homer episodes. So yeah, it seems to be a fun little
They
thing.
they should do like character episodes, like
Definitely.
a playlist for like Burns episodes.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's
Like, you know,
there's so many episodes and so many characters that, like, you know, you'd make a Burns playlist and that's going to be huge. A Mo playlist and that'd be huge. Like, you know, there's so many different. Yeah, super cool. I hope they keep building that. But in a response to
I
that
think as
playlist.
well. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go for it.
Oh, if they made like playlists for certain character episodes, probably give the Simpsons creators a good idea of what people want as
That's
well.
true. Yeah, like, oh, people love
Like,
Mr. Burns episodes. People like
yeah.
Principal Skinner episodes. Yeah, if they get to see the figures and like which playlists are doing the best or something. Yeah, that'd be a cool thing for them to know. But yeah, in response to that playlist coming out, Collider brought out a cool list of the top 10 Springfield Elementary episodes. So I figured we'd go through that. I'd agree with the episode choices, not quite the order personally, but that's just me. Number 10 was Girls Just Want to Have Sums in season 17, which is a great episode where they separate the schools between genders, but Lisa disguises herself as a boy because she finds out that they're learning harder math. Super fun episode. 9, Back to Genius, second episode of the whole show.
Good one.
Yeah, really great, yeah. One of the best episodes in the first season, I would say. 8, Lisa Gets an A from season 10.
Good one.
Yeah, really fun one where she cheats. 7, Grade School Confidential, season 8.
Great one.
Fantastic episode. I would put that higher, personally.
That's definitely been a Seb's classic, I think.
It has, fairly recently. Number 6, PTA Disbands. Top 3, personally, for me, I would say. That one's just brilliant, where they have to do all the budget cuts, and people from Springfield who aren't trained teachers start working in the school. Just great. Number 5, Lisa Substitute. Absolutely fantastic. Number 4, Sweet Seymour's Badass Song, season 5. That's the one where Bart gets him fired and then Bart and Skinner form like a friendship. That one's great. And number 3, Lisa's Sax, which is we find out how Lisa got her saxophone and like her first day of school and everything. That's season 9. Great episode. Number 2, Bart gets an F, season 2. Fantastic one where he's trying to bring up his grades and that snow day happens and he has to take the opportunity to study as hard as he can. Just a great Bart episode. Personally, I think that's the first great episode of the show. It's the first episode of season 2. And like season 1 is good, but it just has, you know, it has a lot of blemishes. They haven't quite figured out who the characters are yet. And you get that as the first episode of season 2. And the quality just in writing, voice acting, and animation just goes up so much in that first episode. You're like, okay, this is going to be a great show, you know. And yeah, the number 1 is Separate Vocations, which I definitely wouldn't put number 1 personally, but it is a great episode. Season 3, it's the one where they have this career guidance thing, and Bart finds out that the best suited role for him is a police officer, and Lisa finds out the best suited role for her is a housewife, and it's just them both dealing with that conflict of interest for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, definitely not number 1.
Not number 1 personally. I was surprised to see it as number 1, but still a really great episode. I would put it top 10. But yeah, fun little list. Yeah, cool. Let's jump over to Seb's Classics then.
Do it.
Wonderful
I've
stuff.
got a good one this week and a
Oh yeah.
pretty probably not predictable one.
No.
And it actually divides a lot of opinion from the
Does
research
it?
I was
I've actually
doing.
always found this episode underrated.
It is underrated, yeah. A lot of people don't like it.
Right.
Anyway, I went
Yeah.
for Tennis the Menace, season 12, episode 12. So Homer builds a tennis court in the backyard, thinking it will boost the family's status. Classic Homer.
We have to get into how that happens. It's so
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's and another like version of like a very contrived way that like the main plot happens is they go to a talent show at the old folks' home, and the show concludes with Grandpa like doing a terrible cover of Tom Jones, and they don't know who to give the winning prize to, and they're like, "Oh, Abe, you're up last. Let's give it to you." They don't know what to do with the prize money. Homer decides to have a look into getting him a coffin, and they're at this ridiculous this ridiculous coffin sales place where the guy is like a really crooked salesman trying to get him to buy the most expensive coffin. They look at one where like you can see a camera of the body and they trap Bart inside and he's like scraping at the coffin.
Yeah.
It's so horrific. And then Homer just puts on a sports channel instead. And they had like a weeping widow service where they hire a woman to just cry at your grave. And at the very end of that whole sequence, the salesman goes, well, you can either buy one of these coffins or you can leave your father to deal with the wolves. And we see wolves like eyeing up Grandpa, and Homer's like, after much consideration, we decided to go with the wolves. And he's still trying to pitch it to him, being like, "Oh, but look at this! It's such a novelty. I mean, this coffin is like the size of a tennis court." And Homer goes, "Tennis court, you say?" They just have a tennis court.
It's absolutely bizarre, like how that even happened. Like it makes no sense, but like I'm not mad about
I
it.
didn't care at all. No,
Yeah.
it's funny because of that. Yeah, and then Grandpa like literally becomes the audience in that moment and goes, "After all of that, you just bought a tennis court?" It's like, yeah, but you didn't expect that. That's so good.
So good.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Obviously, yeah,
Instead, it sparks Springfield's ridicule and ultimately pits the Simpsons against each other in a doubles tournament.
Mhm.
As rivalries intensify, real tennis legends, Venus and Serena Williams, Pete
Indeed.
Sampras, and Andre Agassi appear,
Hmm.
leading to ridiculous shuffle of partners until the pros take over. The Simpsons, united again, happily sit back, watch the match, realizing they prefer spectating to competing. Pretty cool cameos as well, like just so not Simpsons.
No, certainly not.
uh,
These tennis players, and they all do the roles pretty well for people who aren't actors, to their
yeah,
credit. Very fun. Yeah, I think the highlight of the episode is the conflict between the family.
definitely.
Yeah, love a good episode like puts them all against each other. Because yeah, the whole thing is that like yeah, Homer buys the tennis court and like Marge actually wants to take it seriously, but Homer's just like having fun, bringing their friends over and playing games. But then Marge finds out she has like a really good dynamic playing tennis with Bart, and competes in this competition with him instead of Homer. And there's like a slightly jarring sequence where it's like he thinks that Bart's going to leave him for Bart.
Yeah,
But it's not weird. It's just like Homer's so dumb in that moment that he seems to literally forget that Bart is his son.
yeah.
Because he has
Well,
like
It's quite funny as well because like normally in this scenario, Homer would be the one that decides to turn it into a competition,
yeah,
and
true.
Marge would be
Yeah.
the one that's just like, can we just chill and play tennis?
Yeah, very true. Yeah, Marge is the one who
yeah,
gets competitive about it, whereas Homer is the one who just wants it to be this fun little thing where they have their friends over and play some tennis and have some laughs. Yeah, very true. I love the whole sequence where he has a dream where Marge has left him for Bart and they're like in a mansion together, and he's like, Marge's like, oh, I'm so glad I left you for my last husband, and Bart's like, oh yeah, he was a real trophy husband, and we see that he's like on Bart's wall, like he shot him. It's like, ha, I can't believe he thought we were just taking a normal trip to the guillotine store. And Homer wakes up and he sees the photo of Bart on his wall because Bart is his son, and he's like, oh, that's the guy who left who
yeah,
my wife left me for.
This is so important because we were just talking about in this episode we watched about how Homer's holding Maggie, watching
Yeah,
Lisa,
yeah,
saying
how dumb he is.
not realizing, but this is funnier because it's more like it's just as stupid, but it's the
Hmm.
scenario and the dream and everything that makes it more hilarious.
yes,
Yeah, it's just as stupid, but it's more clever in how he's stupid. Like
yeah.
it's not blatantly telling us he doesn't know that Bart's his son, but we know from the way he's behaving
Yeah.
that he's just so wrapped up in his jealousy that he's literally
Because instead
forgotten
of
that
him,
Bart is
exactly,
his
instead of
child.
him,
Of him forgetting Bart's his son, which is kind of funny. It's he
Yeah.
forgets, but actually that's not what makes it funny. It's the fact that he thinks it's a guy taking his wife.
Yeah, like
It's
how
a
far he's
much
taken
more
it in his
funny
head.
way to portray that.
Yeah,
Um,
in a really creative way too, in that
yeah.
crazy dream. Yeah,
So for
so
me,
funny.
like standout moments, like we already spoke about the opening grandpa autopsy gag.
Yeah,
Just very classic but just weird.
so
Um
weird.
Homer's Foxy boxing mix up.
Dude, yeah, yeah. He's like, wait a minute, rackets? Like, what is tennis again? And he's like, what's that thing where the women are fighting each other? And Bart's like,
Yeah,
foxy boxing. He's like, oh, that's what I wanted. He thought he
yeah,
was buying a thing
love
where
that.
that would have been women fighting in his backyard.
Yeah, I love that.
Utterly absurd.
Yeah, I loved the celebrity cameos and like the fact they were willing to poke fun at themselves.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
really
really
funny.
funny. I will say that's
Um,
my only major critique of the episode. They're good in it. It's not anything on them. It's just, but I do feel like the plot is kind of wrapped up at the end a little bit too conveniently. It's just that they're slowly all replacing each other and just betraying each other, which is the fun aspect of the episode. This sort of like little Oedipus thing that's going on. But then the pro tennis players start replacing the family with other pro tennis players, and as you already mentioned, yeah, they're like, oh, I guess these things are more fun to watch than be a part of, and then they just forgive each other. There's not like a proper
I
resolution
know
at
what
the
you
end.
mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But look, it's just fun and games the whole way through, and there's nothing wrong with an episode that does that. It wasn't interested in like telling a compelling story, but it just has fun with just being stupid, which I never mind if
yeah.
it really commits to the
It's
dumb, and this episode definitely did.
Perfect mid-season. It's
Yes.
perfectly funny. Like
Just
I'm not mad
banter.
about it. Like I'd
No.
give it. There's a few problems, so I'd give it an 8.5.
I'd be the exact same at
yeah,
8.5. Listen, I've always found this one overrated. Sorry, underrated. Because yeah,
yeah.
it's just good fun, and like I don't mind an episode that doesn't have a deeper story going on if it's just constant laughs, great stupid gags.
Exactly.
Some other ones I loved was there was a bunch of great parts for Chief Wiggum. The bit where him and Lou come to the house, being like, "Just want to make sure you're having a crime-free morning." And Marge is like, "Do you guys want to play tennis by any chance?" And it zooms out. We see they have the shorts on and they're holding rackets. Like, "Oh, I guess if you didn't mind." And then as they're walking in, Wiggum goes, take over, Lou. And he just continues, It's so dumb.
Yeah,
And then we cut to him later on. Wiggum was like hosting the match, the tennis match. And Marge says that it's unfair that Homer gets to have Venus Williams on his team, like a professional player. And Wiggum's like, yeah, we all have problems. I dropped my cookie. And we see he dropped his cookie because he's on a really high chair. And the guy goes to take it. And he just pulls his gun out. I was like, are you sure about that?
yeah.
So
So
good.
good.
Yeah, so good. And we also had two
Uh,
great Mr. Burns moments as well.
we did. We
It's
did.
so funny. As yeah, Mr. Burns comes to the tennis court, to the family tennis court, wanting to play a game, and Marge is like, "I thought you had a tennis court." And Smithers is like, "Oh, he did, but he replaced it for human chess." We just got to human chess in Burns's mansion, and they're still playing it even though no one's home. And then one of the guys goes, "Wait a minute, he's not here. We can just leave." And two of them run away, but they leave a saint on his own, like a black saint. And then the two white ones just go at him, start beating him up. So good. And the second one is Smithers and Burns at the match. That's so funny. Um, Burns appears to have like one of those giant, like those baseball foam fingers. Smithers is like, "Oh, where'd you get that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's just fluid." He starts whipping his hand and it just slowly turns back to normal. It was just fluid circulating.
Yeah, of course. So
So
good.
so funny. And another
Um,
final bit that I loved is
yeah,
Homer's obviously so conflicted about Bart and Marge playing tennis together. He's like Lisa like becomes his therapist, and she's like taking notes for him. Lisa says, "Oh, you appear to be having some sort of an Oedipus complex. You of course know the story of Oedipus." And Homer's like, "Maybe $5 could remind me." He's such
yeah, so good.
again, just like out of nowhere, just the sheer
That feels
randomness.
like a SpongeBob gag.
Yeah, it does because it's just out
I
of
mean,
nowhere. Like she's meant to
yeah,
be his therapist, also his daughter, and he's trying to get her to give him money.
yeah,
So stupid. Yeah, it was very consistent with just like dumb but hilarious gags like that throughout the
really
episode.
good.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
8.5 just for sheer
Seb's
laughs.
classics, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, there we
Never
go.
miss it.
All right. Yeah, sweet. So that's on to 10 questions, right?
Yeah, 10 questions. Oh,
Throw it at me, baby.
All right, so this is 10 questions, technically 11.
Neat.
So this is where I
Yeah.
have a random Simpsons character, and Dylan has to guess who it is with 10 questions. He may
Indeed.
guess before, but it counts as a question. And once he gets to 10 questions, he has to make a guess.
Yes, sir. Or
All right.
ma'am. Don't want to make any
Again.
assumptions.
Just ask the fucking questions, bro.
Yeah, sorry, that might count as a question. Are you a man or a woman? First question that I always ask, just in case, even though I'm sure it's not, are they a member of the family?
They are. Not joking. No, they're not.
Like, it's Lisa. Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
They're not a member of the family.
No.
Cool. Is it a man?
It is.
Cool. Okay. Is it an adult man?
It is.
It is. Ooh, what was it, the adult men with you? Which is like 90% of Simpsons characters. Are they a regular, like a character we see really, really often?
No.
No, okay. Are they in only one episode?
No.
Do they live in Springfield?
Yes.
Yes. Ooh, God, I feel like I might have wasted my sixth question there. It was too similar to the previous question. Okay. Do they work in a location that one of the main family goes to often? You know, like the school or the power plant or whatever? Or Moe's?
It's not it's not an often location like that, but
Okay.
it does, you do get it quite a lot.
Okay. But not as common as like
No.
Springfield, Moe's, stuff like that, yeah.
I would say, like, normally if it was to appear in an episode, it would be like in the opening.
Maybe in the
But I
opening.
wouldn't overthink that, but normally it would just be
Okay.
like the opening.
Yeah. Jeez. This is a weird way to try and narrow it down, but is the character voiced by Hank Azaria?
Good question.
You don't know.
Let me just double check for you.
You have a bio up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure it says it somewhere.
No.
No, not Hank Azaria. It's a male character, so it's either Dan Castellaneta or Harry Shearer. God. I can't know if you're getting better at this game or I'm getting worse.
You're on 8 questions.
I
will
know.
I will give you a clue.
Cheers.
Well, actually,
Oh, now or at the
it's
end?
not really a clue because it's kind of obvious, but it was voiced by Harry Shearer and it changed
Oh, what's the Harry Sheeran changed?
in 2021.
Well, you may as well have just given the whole thing away.
Have I given it away?
Dr. Hibbert.
Oh, no, I ruined it. Why did I tell you that? I realised when I said that, I was like, wait, of course.
I really don't even think I was close.
No.
Well, I won this one just because you're too nice.
Damn.
Well, again, it's you may be taking for granted how much information I have on the show. Is I know in 2021.
Yeah, I gotta remember to just not give you anything.
I know in 2021 they replaced all of their black characters with real black actors. So Harry Shearer. I mean, there's probably other characters, but definitely the most famous one is Dr. Hibbert.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, I win, but I don't really feel like I earned that win. I feel like we both lost. This is the saddest 10 questions we've ever had. But all in good fun. Moving over to Keep It Short then.
Yeah, the segment where Dylan shows you how to keep it short, like he does.
Nice. You phrased it differently this time. I like it. I like it.
Because here on this podcast, we growers, not showers.
That is a fact. And today we are covering this is the segment where we cover all of the Tracy Ullman Show shorts in order. We are now on the 21st out of I think it's 48 entirely. This one is skateboarding, and it feels like we're back to very basic ones again. This one wasn't even a minute long, and it's just skateboarding, but it's quite fun. And to be fair, historically, if we're to look at like the origins of the show, this is the first time we ever see Bart in a skateboard, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's an important canon event.
Yeah, totally. An important canon event. And I also think it's the first time that he said cowabunga.
Yeah,
which
must
is,
be.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this is skateboarding. Original air date, February 7th, 1988. Bart isn't letting Lisa and Maggie go skateboarding with him. Because it's a man's sport. And as he's going down a hill on the skateboard, he's like, the breeze, the solitude, the wind whistling through your hair, and we pan out and just see that Lisa and Maggie are on the skateboard with him. That was actually good writing. I'm not saying it was funny or anything. It was just like enjoyable dialogue. Okay. Yeah, just like taking in the wind and like the adventure of skateboarding. Then it takes off again, and we see Lisa now has her own board and passes him out. Again, just like them not fully knowing the characters yet, Lisa would never have a skateboard. As we know her now, would never. And then finally it's them racing each other, and Bart's like, oh, look over there, classic thing that siblings do to tease each other, and he like starts before Lisa does, and Lisa's struggling to catch up, but then Maggie catches up on her board just instantly. And that's the end of the segment. Yeah, it was simple, and there wasn't a whole load of depth to it, but it was fun, simple, and nice, and was refreshing after that horrific one in the last episode where Homer's just abusing him on the boat. Yeah, exactly. It was nice to have a fun, simple one. Anyhow, moving over to a recommendation of the week.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Do the old... We go on go, right? Rock, paper, scissors, go? Yeah. Here we are. Rock, paper, scissors, go. Both paper, alright? Rock, paper, scissors, go. Both scissors, okay? Rock, paper, scissors, go. Rock, beats scissors, alright.
Yeah, it does.
A rare victory.
Right.
After you, sir.
So,
my first recommendation is going to be the new... I'm recommending this not because I thought it was a good movie. I think it left a lot to be desired, but the acting was phenomenal.
Okay.
I'm recommending Eddington, the new Ari Aster movie.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I'm probably seeing it on Wednesday.
It's worth a watch. It's definitely worth a
I
watch.
love Ari Aster.
It's interesting, keeps you hooked. It's a fine movie. There's a lot of the whole COVID plot. It's a bit overdone. But
COVID, really? God.
yeah, I know.
Late, yeah.
But this is genuinely Joaquin Phoenix at his best. He is unbelievably good in this. He absolutely absorbs the character, and it's so like it was the thing that kept the movie interesting, was just how good he was playing the sheriff in this movie. So yeah, would recommend it for that, to be honest. If you want to see Joaquin Phoenix just being his amazing self, just watch this movie.
Sick, yeah. I mean, I always say that he's my favorite actor working currently.
Me too, probably.
Yeah, he's exceptional. He takes risks. He's just like, you can't stop looking at him when he's on screen.
Yeah.
He's just a unique, brilliant actor. I mean, his last one before this was a dud, unfortunately. Joker, Folie à Deux, but he's still amazing in it. It's not bad as a result of his performance. He's fantastic. But yeah, no, I think I'm looking forward to it for sure. I love Ari Aster. He seems to have done a total 180 with like the type of films he writes and directs, and I'm totally here for it. He rose into the mainstream doing these unique horrors with Hereditary and Midsommar, which are still great movies, and then he does Beau is Afraid, which is more like a Charlie Kaufman film than Hereditary, and Hereditary and Midsommar are still like crazy, but they're grounded in how crazy they are, whereas Beau is Afraid is just mental, and it looks like Eddington is equally pretty weird and mental by the looks of it. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
And I'm totally here for it. He could have just kept doing like these unique and still well done horrors, but I love that he was just like, no, I want to do something else entirely. I really respect that from a creative standpoint, and it actually totally perfectly ties into what my first recommendation is, and I actually didn't mean to. I happen to have it right here, so I'll just show it. Is Bob Odenkirk's autobiography.
Oh, nice.
Comedy drama. Absolutely great read, funny but also like insightful and just interesting. And yeah, for someone who's always inspired and interested in like different areas of creativity, I just thought his whole journey was so interesting because he has had such a vast career. Like he's done stand up and live sketch comedy and been just a writer for shows, and then obviously did Breaking Bad, and that totally changed his career. And then he ended up doing like The Post with Steven Spielberg, and is the lead of an action movie, well now 2 action movies with Nobody. So this is just a unique and interesting career, and he takes so many risks, and he gets into like the nitty gritty of those risks. There was also a period for like, I think it was like 6 or 7 years where he was just directing. He wasn't starring in anything. So he's really done so many. There's been so many different like branches of his career, and it's just that's the kind of career that really inspires me personally.
That's
and I just
cool.
really love
as well,
hearing his
like he's
journey.
like such a down to earth guy.
Oh, so
really
down to
genuine.
earth. Yeah, totally, 100%. And he's just an exceptional talent too. Like he's anything I've seen him in, or anything I've seen that he's written or directed, I love all of his work. Like he's genuinely great at these various different things. And his performance as Saul in Better Call Saul is one of my favorite performances of any TV show ever, maybe anything ever. He's just sensational in it.
The watch through where you watch
I do want to do that eventually, but no,
where you watch like them in correlation to Breaking Bad, and
yeah. So you watch Better Call Saul, then Breaking Bad, then El Camino. I do want to do that eventually. I just watched all as it came out, obviously. So I watched Breaking Bad first, then Better Call Saul, and
you have to you stop watching Better Call Saul.
I know, because the timeline is mental in that show. Yeah. But yeah, it's so worth it. Have you seen? You haven't seen Better Call Saul, have you?
I've finished it all now.
Oh, you finished it all? We've never spoken about this. Yeah. That's crazy. It's amazing, right?
It's incredible, especially the end. Like,
absolutely.
The end.
Yeah. I love it all. I mean, look, at this point, if you haven't watched the show, stop listening, but like, what are you doing at the same time? Yeah. But I just love the reveal, and some people didn't like it, but I love the reveal at the end of him confessing everything and going to jail to prove himself to Kim. And what I love about it too is it's like the opposite of Walter White's arc.
It is.
And it makes sense because they're almost like polar opposite characters in very many ways. I mean, they are both like decent people who turn bad due to bad circumstances, but they're very different circumstances. And yeah, Bob Odenkirk just absolutely annihilates that show, as does Ray Sheehan, who plays Kim, and Michael McKean, his brother Chuck. Just absolutely amazing. Yeah, that show, for me, like I always say, my favorite like genre is comedy dramas, and like that's Better Call Saul. Like it's funnier than Breaking Bad is. There's lots of really funny bits in it, but it's mainly a drama, obviously. But there's some really fun bits too. Like a part like Saul would be a dream role for me as an actor, because he has really, really funny parts and incredibly hard-hitting dramatic parts. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, cool. Do you have a second recommendation?
I don't.
Just the one this week? No problem. Jumping into my final one then. And maybe not necessarily one that needs a plug, but I'll say why it does. Is I have seen The Naked Gun 3 times.
Yeah, fantastic.
You saw it?
I've seen Naked. Oh, what, the new one?
The new one.
Oh, right. No.
The Liam Neeson one. Dude, it's fantastic. I saw it 3 times. It's just joke from start to finish. And I wanted to relive the experience of being in a cinema with people just laughing consistently the whole way through. And it's not safe cookie cutter comedy. Like, it's good slapstick gags. There's also some riskier jokes in there. It's just a wonderful film.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm recommending it is just these movies aren't made enough, especially nowadays, and we need more of them. And seeing just the laughs and the relief from the cinema was a reminder of that for me. One of my favorite memories growing up going to cinema is seeing films like Anchorman 2, Step Brothers, This Is the End, and just they're being laughed at the whole way through, and we're not getting those kind of movies often anymore. If we do, they go straight to Netflix. We're not getting them in cinemas. So it's just so nice to see that in the cinema, and I feel like The Naked Gun understood that responsibility, so they made it as funny as possible. I mean, you have Liam Neeson, who I think is like underrated in how funny he is, but this film proves how funny he genuinely is. He has comedic talent. You got Seth MacFarlane producing it, Akiva Schaffer directing, who was one of the guys behind The Lonely Island. So you just have all this talent behind the scenes, and it all shows. And clearly a love for the original films as well that are absolutely brilliant. It's just a really fun experience. And the reason why I'm recommending people go see it in the cinemas is because it's a fun film to watch.
Yeah.
With a room full of laughing people. But also I just want more of these movies to get theatrical releases. So I want cinemas more so movie studios to see, there actually is still a place for these kind of movies in the cinema. It's such good fun, and I it seems to be doing well, but I want it to do even better. And I just hope more films in this franchise get greenlit, but also just more silly comedies, pure comedies like this get greenlit. Because it's just a damn good time. I saw a review on Letterboxd that really resonated with me, where someone just said, "If this movie isn't a success, we deserve all the darkness that comes out after." That's how I feel. Because movies are always going to kind of emulate what's happening in society, I guess, and a lot of the big movies nowadays are just so bleak, overly bleak. That it was just so nice to see a film that is just pure jokes. Like, it doesn't really...
I like that.
Yeah, like, there's a plot, but the plot doesn't matter. It's just there to serve a bunch of, like, great, well-done gags. Yeah, so...
Nice.
Highly recommend. It's a great time, and I just love seeing... just as a random point, just love seeing an Irish man leading a cast. Such a big blockbuster film, yeah. So it's just so cool seeing Liam Neeson just smashing it in such a different way to how he's so great in other leading roles. But yes, let's wrap up this thing in a nice little package with the questions. Yeah, cool. 2 questions this week. 2 actually just related to Simpsons this time around. The first one comes from Dave Vaughan, a comedian buddy of mine. Great question. Is which horror film would you love to see get the Treehouse of Horror treatment? Yeah,
that's a good question.
Really, really great question. Immediately kind of was thinking about which movies.
One does come to mind, because I think I've thought about it before.
Sure.
I would go for, because it's more new as well, I would go for The Lighthouse.
Oh, that'd be great.
Similarly to The Shining one, you could create that weird Homer in an isolated situation. And put him with Moe or Barney or something. Any of those characters could work.
I was thinking Mr. Burns, just because Willem Dafoe is an older guy.
Yeah.
Homer being Robert Pattinson.
That makes sense.
Because of the boss dynamic,
that could be so cool, because you get that scary, isolated but funny Homer. I think that would just be, and it could be black and white as well, like the movie is, and stylistically it could be really cool. There's a lot that could be done with that, and it's a new school, so
that'd be brilliant. The one that came into my head when I first read this question, which would be really interesting, is my favorite Treehouse of Horror, and probably a lot of people's favorite Treehouse of Horrors, is the Shining one. A Doctor Sleep parody, but it's literally have it be a sequel to the Shining Simpsons, the Treehouse of Horror segment. Have it be a sequel to that exact segment. Have it be Bart as an adult several years later after the events of that Treehouse of Horror. Him being Ewan McGregor's character, and just having fun with the plot line from there. Doctor Sleep is brilliant, and I've seen the movie and read the book. I love both versions of it. A surprisingly great sequel. And obviously Stephen King is just a great writer, but that he wrote The Shining in the 70s when I think he was still a very drug fueled man, and then writes Doctor Sleep, and I think it came out in 2013, so just years and years later, and he managed to make a really faithful, well done continuation, and a unique continuation to that universe. But a Simpsons coverage of that would be absolutely brilliant. Just in terms of more franchisey horrors, a Smile parody could be interesting.
Potentially,
what they would do with that. And I had another one in my head that's left my brain now. Hereditary, I think it'd be really interesting. Have it be Marge and Bart, maybe, or Marge and Lisa, with that parent dynamic. I think could be super cool. There's clearly horror fans, and they do really faithful like adaptations of and parodies of the horrors and in the Treehouse of Horror. So yeah, it was so cool just to see their take on like more unique horror films, like you said, The Lighthouse. Yeah, because it's such a great horror, but a very different horror. Yeah, it was so cool to see the Simpsons take on that. Yeah, but yeah, super fun question. Our final one comes from Ollie Miller. He was always asked great questions. This one's a little bit more normal.
Big up, Ollie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This one's a little bit more normal for him. Is he just goes, "What writer would you love to see do an episode?"
Similarly, I have thought about this before,
Mm.
and I did think about it not too long ago because
Okay.
they wouldn't be able to write a Simpsons episode anymore. And I think
They're dead.
actually they probably do a good Treehouse of Horror.
Oh yeah.
David Lynch.
David Lynch. Ah, yeah.
Or like a Twin Peaks-esque episode.
That'd be so
Would be
great.
fantastic because
Yeah.
it would be like his surreal, dreamlike style, and I think his humor already feels like kind of bizarre Simpsons-like.
Yeah, you're right. We're probably fitting
Yeah.
more to a Treehouse of Horror or just like a more out there episode, but I can definitely see him.
Yeah.
He has a great sense of humor that would fit into that absurd world of Springfield very well. And I also feel like he probably likes The Simpsons.
Probably.
Yeah, it just seems like something that he would have enjoyed. Just the absurdity and the surrealness of it. Yeah, that would have been great. Similarly to like a unique writer, an out there writer, I thought of Charlie Kaufman. Because when you're thinking about like, oh, who would I love to come in and guest write an episode? You want to be somebody who would bring something different to the show, and he would definitely, he wouldn't just write a normal episode. Like he would write something crazy,
Sure.
which I would love to see. Yeah, like Synecdoche, New York, but it's Homer. Like something like that would be great.
Would be cool. As
100%.
well, being John Malkovich, that could be a really good like Homer episode. That's
Being
based
Krusty the
on-
Clown.
Yeah, being Krusty Clown. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just because he's like the Springfield celebrity.
Yeah.
That'd be brilliant. Yeah. Then I also thought about like just 'cause writers who would fit well into The Simpsons just normal. They could just write like a normal episode of The Simpsons, and I immediately the first person came to my head was Seth MacFarlane, because
He would. Probably.
yeah, because The Simpsons is just clearly what inspired him to create his own animated TV show. So it would be great to see what his take on a Simpsons episode would be. And then
even though I think he's fallen off a bit, and I didn't like his recent movie, I think Jordan Peele could probably have potential to do a good Treehouse of Horror.
oh yeah, well I guess he would be kind of going back to his comedy roots with doing a Simpsons episode. No, I could definitely see that working totally. Yeah, Nope wasn't great, but Get Out and Us are brilliant. So his hit rate is he has more hits and misses. But yeah, Seth MacFarlane, and then also I thought would do a great episode with just a little bit more edge. Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Oh yeah.
Would just love to see, because they have so much respect for each other, like the Simpsons writers and the South Park writers. So
yeah, and then Family Guy is just hated by both.
I know. Personally, love both shows, but yeah, there's clear. Well, I think the conflict's gone now, but it was certainly a conflict that existed back when the show first came out. But yeah, apparently him and Matt Groening are friends now, so I do think that's all patched up, thankfully. But yeah, there is a rumor that was never confirmed that apparently when South Park did that whole like 3-part episode where they just make fun of like how lazy Family Guy is, that the Simpsons writers sent them flowers.
Yeah.
Which is just mental. But yeah, I love them all personally. But yeah, cool. Those were 2 really great questions.
Really
Take
good
notes,
questions,
people.
yeah.
Respect anybody who asks questions, but like those are
Absolutely.
ones like those are the best because they make you think. Like
They got us thinking.
yeah, exactly. They make you think broadly, which I always enjoy. But yeah, other than that, I think that wraps up everything.
Well done.
Yeah, me and Sebastian have a few minutes left in our Zoom call, so I think we're going to show each other our nipples.
Yeah.
But I don't think that would be appropriate for YouTube. So sorry, guys. We love you very much, but we're going to have to wrap it up from there.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Not condoms, that is. We don't use
Maybe
those.
one day we'll do like a premium package where you can see this content.
Let's do a Patreon where the only bonus content is like 10 seconds of us showing off our nipples.
Love that. Or we'll do like ending credits where it's got like little B-roll bits of like us fooling around, and maybe that'll be in there.
Beautiful. And people are looking at it being like, why did I pay £5 for this? It's just us in a Zoom call and falling over the chair or taking our shirts off or fucking
Getting really drunk.
really drunk to be like,
pints.
alright, let's do the fucking podcast, I guess. Alright, guys, catch you really soon. Good luck.
Sayonara.
Sayonara, baby.